Welcome, everybody. It is Ian in Las Vegas, and this is Mixed Reaction. I'm here with Casey, who, as soon as the show is uploaded, is going to force his wife to listen to it, and Justin as well. How you guys doing today?
Doing wonderful.
It's a great time to be alive in the sports world.
It's the best time of the year. Football season is now in full swing. NHL season's popping off. College hockey season has started. NBA season is starting up. Baseball playoffs. It is the best time of the year. You know how they say Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year? Nah, fuck that. It's now.
I hear you, bro, but have you ever gotten a Nintendo 64 under the tree?
You know, I can't say that I have. But, Justin, my friend.
It is not Christmas time for Mr. Robert Saleh in New York. It's gonna be May. Yes. It is May time in New England. Jacoby Brissett finally benched. Thank the Lord. For number 3 overall pick, Drake May.
It's not going to make a bit of a difference, dude. I'm so sorry. It's
not going to make it. It's not going to make a big difference. No.
They're ruining this kid's career. They are ruining his career.
This was not the week to start him.
No,
this was not the week.
It's not the year to start him. What do you mean the week? It's not the year to start him. They have no offensive line. They have no skill position players.
No, I know. I know.
They are going to ruin him. And I'm not a Patriots fan. I don't care. But it's a horrible decision by a first-year coach that's hitting the panic button too soon.
Yeah.
Take your 3-14 season, get a better draft pick, get something going.
Take the 1-16 season and go get Travis Hunter.
No, don't get. Yeah, Travis Hunter. Yeah, that's fine. Actually,
thank you.
Yeah, that's completely fine. But
thank you.
Example in Carolina of what's going to happen if they just rush a guy in there. I'm with what Casey was saying. I just wanted to throw that out there.
What was that?
No, I was just saying. We've seen in Carolina an example of what's going to happen if you just throw it. Get like Casey was saying, let them have their 3-14 season. Let them have a season to develop and learn. You don't have to throw. I mean, shit. Look at what Rodgers did. Jordan Love. It's not.
No, it's not a need. They don't need to throw him in now. I agree. Now, what I'm curious about is if Brissett's hurt, and that's why they're putting him in now.
It's possible. He's been taking a beating.
Yes. If he's hurt, then that explains everything.
Yes, if he's hurt, it's fine. If it's okay, I think it's time for the kid to play, I think it's the wrong decision.
Agreed. If Brissett's hurt, then it makes complete sense that you really don't have a choice. Because Milton's not built for that long run. Not at all. Milton's more of a gimmick quarterback than an actual starting quarterback, in my opinion. But does he add a little juice to the and spark to things? Sure. But do you put him in the starting role? Heck no. But I think there have been talks that there's been mutiny within the clubhouse in the locker room in New England. And to be honest, I don't think that the players would be mutinying against Jerod Mayo. I think they'd be mutinying against Jonathan and Robert Kraft, honestly, because who's going to cut the check?
Yeah, I get that. I mean, but you can't really have a mutiny against Robert Kraft. I mean, you can, but what's that going to accomplish?
It doesn't accomplish anything, but it just goes to show that even the player's coach that Jerod Mayo has tried to build himself to be isn't enough.
Look, I don't like saying this because I know you're a Patriots fan, Justin, and it's become abundantly clear from top to bottom, they have the worst roster in the NFL right now.
Oh, yeah. That's why I said in the chat this morning. It's time to say screw the season and start tanking. Yeah, it's only week 6, but
No, but their
time.
season's over. It's not like they're Cincinnati 1-6. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, or 1-5, 1-4. I think it is. You know what I
1-4,
mean?
yeah.
Like it. Yeah, it's not Cincinnati's 1-4, which we can get into Cincinnati later. I think their season's on the brink too, but they're a completely different case. They have a top echelon quarterback. They have depth at receiver. They have great skill position players. It's Cincinnati's defense that's an issue. Again, we'll get into Cincinnati later. New England is a completely different story. They just are bad.
Mm-hmm. The only
They
good
are-
good bright spot on that entire team is Christian Gonzalez in defense. That's it.
Yeah. That's it.
And an occasional Ramondre Stevenson 33-yard run. That's it.
He's had a fumble issue this year too, if I'm not mistaken.
He has. He was benched from the starting role to begin the game against Miami, and he made up for it with the 33-yard scamper. Didn't cough up the ball at all, which was nice to see, but he's had ball security problems. And I think a lot of it comes down to coaching.
It's like you said, and I agree with you 100% on it. If Brissett is hurt, it makes sense. If they're just doing it because they think it's quote unquote May time, I think it's a terrible decision. They're gonna get this kid killed out there. Not like literally, but figuratively, they're gonna get this kid killed.
There's one thing I do that it has to be brought up. Yes, Brissett's been taking a pounding. But part of the problem with Brissett, the reason why Brissett's taking a pounding is because he takes forever and a freaking year to do anything.
That's because nobody's getting open, Justin.
Even if that were the case, even with that being the case, the offensive line, for example, against the last couple weeks, the offensive line has not been the problem. The receivers aren't getting open, but also Brissett takes forever to do anything.
I agree. I don't disagree with that.
Big difference between in terms of skill set, May can actually make a play with his legs consistently, where Brissett will have to take 4 sacks before he considers running.
Yeah, I mean, May definitely has the athletic advantage. There's no question about that. But I don't think the issue with Brissett is he's staring down open receivers and taking too long to throw them the ball.
His issue is not getting the big issue for him is A, the receivers aren't getting downfield, and B, it's like a darn windmill for him to throw the ball, and by the time he ratchets back, he's already about to get killed.
And I don't get it this week. Like, why
this week was not the week to do it against Houston? No. Like, I mean, don't they play Miami again next week? That would have been the week.
New England is going to play at home against Houston this week.
Right.
Yeah, we know that.
Aren't they at Miami?
No, and then they at home against Jacksonville, at home against the Jets, at Tennessee, at the Bears, at home against the Rams, and then at the Dolphins.
The Jacksonville game would have been perfect.
You said the Jaguars game? Yeah. I mean, Jacksonville barely pulled. They almost fucking lost this weekend.
Jacksonville would have, this week was not the week to do it. Again, barring Brissett being hurt. Jacksonville would have made sense. This week against Miami would have made sense. But
especially against a defense that has a pretty decent pass rush in Houston. You got to think they're 4th in the league in sacks. I think they've recorded 13 already throughout the course of this season. They just forced Josh Allen into the worst game of his career. We're passing 9 for 30. This is not the game that you want to throw Drake May into.
It's not. Am I hopeful
next week against Jacksonville would have been a more viable one?
Exactly. Now, am I hopeful that Drake is going to survive? Sure. Now, speaking of Josh Allen, did he have a concussion?
He must have. Though he was using smelling salts on the sidelines. He looked unconscious on the field. I'm almost convinced that he did.
And the Bills hit it. They didn't announce he had a concussion.
Yeah, and it's too late to go back now because never got called up for review. But I'm on the fence that I'm leaning towards that he did.
Aren't there some post-game ramifications for the team for that?
Yeah, there can be, but it almost has to be proven.
They could do it. The league just has enough resources to do that sort of investigation.
And it might be
If they
almost
really want
time in Buffalo's terms to talk about Sean McDermott too, because
Mhm.
what type of play calling is 3 seam passes up the middle of the field on first, second, and third down at your own 1 with the game tied?
Oh
It's your
yeah,
own one. You run that ball at least to the 6 before you consider throwing.
You got to do something different. I mean, I didn't understand that play calling by the Bills at all.
I was shocked Houston even got the ball back. I was like, oh, word. Like, they're getting these dumbass. I was looking at that play call and, like, if he's going to make it easier for him, fuck it. Because, I had money.
Not to mention, Houston almost gave the game to Buffalo. Look what happened in the 4th. Stroud threw an interception. Stroud had that fumble in the 4th. Buffalo was on a tear coming back.
And they had
if you remember, it was after the play where it was the series after or the 2 series after where Josh Allen, after he got leveled and looks like he had the concussion, that they decided that play calling was the best way to go.
I think I think it was either the series after or the series after the series.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I don't remember exactly, but
removed.
One thing I'll say about this in football, if you can't,
Didn't I also say the Bills were going to take a step back this year? Didn't I say that?
did. No,
I did?
you not. You said that the year before. You said that about the 49ers this year.
I'm pretty sure I said the Bills too because he lost Leslie Frazier.
You might have. I mean, let's be honest. The Bills are still going to win the division.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dolphins sure as hell ain't.
What's going on in New York now? The Jets just fired Robert Saleh mid-season.
Exactly. And let's not act like we don't know what that firing was.
Aaron Bleepin Rodgers.
Yeah, 100%. No question. That was an Aaron Rodgers going up to the owner, Woody Johnson, and being like, "Hey, it's time. Let's get him gone."
And Woody Johnson says, "This is 100% on me." Bullshit.
No, it's not. It was 100% an Aaron Rodgers decision. They never liked each other from the get-go. It was blatantly obvious.
Well, here's the other problem. Robert Saleh was given a crap hand too. He had Aaron Rodgers pretty much forced down his throat for one.
Yep.
Now, granted, the quarterbacks he had to work with before Aaron Rodgers,
awful. No, but their relationship ended this second in training camp, those 3 days, when he came back and Robert was like, "Yeah, that absence was not excused."
Yeah, the mandatory
relationship ended then.
Yep, absolutely. And the Nathaniel Hackett hiring was only because Rodgers.
Of Aaron Rodgers.
That's the only reason.
100%.
Hackett's not a great offensive coach.
No, he looked good in Green Bay because he had Aaron Rodgers.
He wasn't play calling. It was all Aaron Rodgers anyway. He was just he's just been a placeholder.
Yeah, exactly. But the one thing that I've noticed with Aaron this year, I don't know if you guys have picked up on it, and his mobility, obviously the past 4 or 5 years has been limited just because of his age as well. But he looks a step or two slower than he ever has. He is getting worse in his decision making, which is very unlike Aaron Rodgers. I'm 99.9% sure that he has the best touchdown to interception ratio in the history of the NFL. And I'm almost positive.
"Quote unquote" Max Kellerman Cliff.
It is Aaron Rodgers, and then it's Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson, and then Brady.
Yeah. So like I said, Aaron Rodgers number 1. Like I said, so he's not known for making bad decisions. He's not known for interceptions. Like Rodgers, his whole career has kept the ball out of harm's way while having a high touchdown rate. Like, regardless of how his career ends, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. That's not in question here. What we're talking about is Aaron Rodgers right now. He does not look like the same player.
I mean, they play in Pittsburgh this weekend too, so we'll see. Shit.
They play the Jets play the Bills, don't they?
Unless I fucking looked at that shit wrong. I do smoke a lot of marijuana. No, they play. Oh wait, what the fuck was I? Oh wait, hold on. No, they play. Where the fuck? New York Jets. Sorry. No, they play at Pittsburgh. Oh, what the fuck? I was looking a week ahead. They play at home against the Bills. On
Monday Night
10-14
Football.
Monday night. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought it was the Bills. So, speaking, you brought up a team that just played an interesting game this past Sunday as well, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to hear your guys. You probably didn't stay up and watch the whole game, which I understand. Down the East Coast, it went till 1 in the morning. I had a miserable.
My son took a very late nap, and I watched the game.
Well, then, Justin, you're a perfect person to start with on this because I obviously also stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning watching the game. What percentage falls on Pittsburgh, and what credit do you give for Dallas mentally for hanging into that game? No Micah Parsons, no DeMarcus Lawrence, no Brandon Cooks, lost 2 offensive linemen and another edge rusher during the game. On the road, still found a way to have a game-winning drive.
I mean, Dallas hung in there for a lot, and I mean a lot.
They should. They did. And if we're being real, excluding those turnovers, Dallas absolutely dominated that entire game.
Start to finish, Dallas. I mean, if you just look at the box score, or like the actual, like not the scorecard, but the actual box score, you would have thought that Dallas won by at least 30 by how they played. But
2 red zone turnovers, a block kick.
You almost want to say Dallas got lucky, in a sense, but at the same time they didn't, because I mean
that last drive, Dak was amazing. I give him so much credit for that last drive.
That last drive is what Dak has needed for months, almost years, really.
That's one thing that I said the very next morning. I said, Dallas teams in previous years, no chance they win that game. No chance.
It's a defense like that.
It'd be that like rush up to clock the ball and you don't clock it because you ran out of time.
A la San Francisco.
A la New England this weekend.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't even think like that. That wasn't even like that was just a complete lack of competency. What happened in the playoff game, man.
But back to this past Sunday, obviously the interception thrown in the red zone to Dak was a huge miscommunication between him and CeeDee Lamb. I think he thought CeeDee was going for a back shoulder, and so that's kind of the area of the end zone he threw it. I think CeeDee thought it was kind of more a post towards the corner.
He threw it to the 2. It wasn't even in the end zone.
It was a bad throw, but I also do feel they were miscued too. Like I do give credit where credit is due when it comes to Pittsburgh's defense. I think they obviously TJ Watt's phenomenal player, but their offense is anemic. They have no offense whatsoever to speak of, and it was pretty evident. I mean, Dallas, who has struggled defensively, for most of this season, absolutely held them down for the most part. Like, Pittsburgh had a drive here and there, but other than that, it was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Like, they couldn't get anything going offensively, and I don't even think a lot of it was on Justin Fields. Outside of George Pickens, they don't have anybody that can get open. They should be in the heavy market for Devontae Adams right now.
Here's a question, and it's a question for anyone in the league needing a veteran quarterback. Did you guys watch? Obviously, Casey, you watched the Cowboys-Steelers game.
Of course.
There was something glaringly obvious when Justin Fields had to come out of the game. And do you recognize what happened? Or what didn't happen, for that matter?
Well, okay, this could be a couple of things, so I just want to see. Are you talking about when Kyle Allen came in and immediately completed the pass?
Instead of Russell Wilson.
Oh, that's because technically, the way that it was listed on the depth chart, fun fact, I don't know, it's kind of a weird fact about the NFL. So Russell Wilson, due to the injury, is still technically listed as the emergency quarterback, which now in the NFL can only come in if both the starter and second string get hurt.
But my point being, if Russell Wilson is now been relegated to an emergency quarterback, is he still hurt? I didn't think he was.
He is. There's
Okay.
everything that I'm hearing is they're trying to work Russ back into shape so he can be ready to start.
Okay, I thought he was back. He was dressed.
He was dressed. Yeah, he was the emergency quarterback, like just in case. Like he's in that mode where if they absolutely needed to, he could come in and play.
Miami probably needs to give Pittsburgh a call. Honestly,
For who though? For because
Russell.
I think next week Russell's going to be back as the starter. I really do.
Fields hasn't lost the game for anyone. So
he's not helping that offense either. It's looked anemic.
He doesn't again, much like the Patriots, he has no one really to throw to other than Pickens.
Freiermuth's a decent tight end too, but
again, you double Freiermuth, you double Pickens, you don't have anyone to throw to because
they have nobody outside of them too. Absolutely nobody. But back to what I was saying about Dak too, really quickly here before we touch on anything else. Of course, the interception was inexcusable, but I really like the mental toughness that Dallas showed. As I said throughout the course of this year, there's nothing that they're going to do in the regular season that's going to sway me one way or the other. I still think they're going to be a wild card to potentially division winning team, depending on how the Commanders, if they implode at all.
The Commanders, man. Woo.
I don't trust them yet. But I don't see too many teams in the NFC that would challenge Dallas for that 7th seed out. You know what I mean, or the 5th seed or anything of that nature. You know what I mean. I don't really see that.
I could see Green Bay and maybe Detroit.
Oh, I think Detroit's going to win Detroit, because Minnesota's going to probably run away with the North.
Minnesota's going to run away.
Detroit's 3-2.
Well, actually, I don't know about run away. Like that, they play in a couple weeks because Minnesota has their bye week, and I think then they play at Detroit. And so Detroit's only sitting on 1 loss.
Green Bay's on 2, right?
Green Bay, they have 2 losses. In Chicago, Caleb Williams looked like he's finally found his stride. He's looked pretty decent over the last game and a half.
Moore. He found DJ Moore. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But I still see Dallas as a wild card team. They have a big game coming up on Sunday, so I'm hoping Micah and DeMarcus can come back from that. They desperately need that. I really like how they've shaped up on their run defense, though. That's one thing that cannot be ignored. They held the Giants and the Steelers down in the run game. They look more physical, they look fast. Yeah.
Was the Steelers game a must-win for the Cowboys? If they hadn't have won, would you have counted them out for the playoffs? If they had lost?
No, not yet. It's too early for that. Just because I know what's coming back for them on the defensive side of the ball. Micah will be back. DeMarcus will be back. Deron Bland's coming back. Once Deron Bland gets back and they have Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland on each side, good luck throwing the ball. 2 ball-hawking corners who both at one point have led the league in interceptions individually. Good luck. But I felt that game was a much-needed win for them. Like, they won that game with heart and grit, and I was happy for it. Do I think they're a Super Bowl team? No. But I think that was by far the best win of the season. And I think that it could propel them to bigger and better things throughout the course of the year. What do you think, Mr. Blackwell?
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, as far as in the North, because Detroit is 4-3-1. Did they just have they must have just had their bye. But Detroit's 3-1. I think it's gonna be tough. Obviously they're gonna play here on the 20th. I mean, they're going to Dallas this weekend. We're definitely going to get all into the picks. But, I mean, Minnesota's legit, man. I mean, they staved off that.
Is it bad I still don't trust them? I still don't trust the Vikings.
I don't know, but it's we'll see. My team, it's just I don't know. Just not
You guys are good. You just got plagued, dude, by the injury bug. And it sucks because you guys are good.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, we don't really have week 7 is when we're expecting Cooper Cup to return. But I mean, we're gonna I mean, we have our bye this week, so week 7 is gonna be against, I believe, Chicago. Or no, not Chicago. We already played Chicago. It's gonna be at home against Las Vegas, and then it's gonna be another really easy game at home against the Vikings. So, but like you said, man, it's one of those things to where I'm not on Justin's level of frustration. So it's like, what are we doing? I'm not how you are sometimes. To where like I'm the shit doesn't make sense. It's just we've been getting hit with injuries. We only threw one yesterday. We converted half of our Sunday converted half.
Your mic.
Oh, what was last? Can you hear me now?
Say that again. No.
Can you hear me?
Yes, much better.
Okay, for sure. My bad. Well, no, what I was saying was, yeah, man. I'm not really, not tripping. You know what I mean? We're 1-4, but it's like, what can we really do with all the injuries that we've been having?
Absolutely.
Basically, and we'll get into it in a second. I called the Arizona pick, but I mean, we converted half of our third downs, turned the ball over once. I mean, we got beat on a 66-yard play. Like, that's just not the Rams champion. I mean, we did get beat a couple times during the championship run, but it's like we can't have that happen. Granted, we almost came back there at the end, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not too upset about it. It's just like, fuck. It's like, whatever. I'm not. Now, granted, I know, what did we say last year? I think, want to say 4 words about your team. I was like, we got our ring. I think that window's closed, but I also think that we have Nakua now. Wait, another guy get hurt on defense this weekend, Carmen. But I'm not really too worried. The quarterback situation, I mean, we're gonna have to figure out. I mean, that motherfucker what's Stafford, 36 now? Like, who is current backup? It is. I was just
Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, sorry, it is Stetson Bennett.
Is it Bennett or is it Garoppolo?
It is Garoppolo. Bennett is third string. Sorry. But I mean,
Garoppolo's on the Rams.
Yep.
Yeah, he is going well because Stafford is currently questionable. Let me look at let me do my best rest in peace John Clayton impression. It says Matthew Stafford is going to is dealing with some back soreness. And he's questionable for this upcoming weekend. So I mean, we might see Garoppolo. Well, I mean, we have a bye this week, so he's going to get a little bit to rest. We're going to get to play the Raiders at home. I don't know if you guys watched that game, but wow, that court.
Yeah, the Raiders look awful.
They took Minshew out, and I'm like, here comes Aiden O'Connell. Like, maybe he has, maybe this is going to be the time. Throws like 10 yards. I don't blame Devontae at this point. Fuck. Like, shit. Like, he's wasted his best goddamn year getting I don't know if you guys saw the mic'd up clip. He's like, I've never got fucked up this much in my career. Like, I'm just getting hit.
Yeah, that was on the Netflix show Receiver. I watched that whole series. That was painful.
What's the Patriots?
What's that, Justin?
That was the Patriots last year when he said that.
Was it? Yeah, it was. It was, yes. Justin, your mic's cutting out a little bit too.
Sorry about that. Is that better?
I have it over the game last year, but regardless, I mean, hey, it's shit. Denver is 3-2, but I mean, let's not fool ourselves. Kansas City's winning the division. Let's hope the Broncos can.
Yeah. So, boys.
Oh yeah.
Are you ready?
Da-da-da-da.
Hold up 1 second. Got to mention one more thing.
Hey, pull up that Chris Berman clip if the Bills are playing this weekend. I like my guy.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention that hockey season started, and the Maine Black Bears won their first game 6-0 on an unofficial Nolan Renwick hat trick.
Yes, that pickup looks pretty damn well so far. Yeah. Maine starting the season, of course, it ranked 11th in the country.
I think it's a fair ranking. Fair ranking.
I do too. Oh, okay. So before we get into the picks, Did you guys watch last night's game between the Chiefs and the Saints?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So a few things that we need to go over real quick before we get into the picks. And it's time we acknowledge it, and we've been hinting around it, and we haven't said it fully. Chiefs have the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
You know the last time they allowed a 30-point game? Just take a guess.
Not last season.
The last time they allowed a 30-point game was
Brady
in the
still in
Super Bowl
league.
against the Eagles.
Holy shit. Well, they scored 31.
I don't remember the exact score of that Super Bowl, but that was the
Year.
last time.
Brady was still in the league.
That is astonishing.
Wow.
Oh man, that's I mean, I don't know. They're gonna get. I mean, they're 5-0 at this point. It's really looking like a collision course of a rematch of Super Bowl IV. You know what I mean?
Vikings and Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings versus Hank Stram. So
Jesus Christ, dude.
Rand Tarkinson versus who the hell played? I know Mike Garrett was the running back. Who the hell played? Oh, Lynn Dawson, I believe it was.
Yeah, so there's Len Dawson. So this Thursday, we have an NFC West showdown between the San Francisco 49ers playing against the Seattle Seahawks. Ian, you do the honors and lead this game off. Who you got?
You can go ahead and start. I'm still putting together the spreadsheet. I'll get first next game. My bad.
Oh, okay, I got you. No problem.
San Francisco's a 3.5-point favorite on the road to Seattle.
This game is tough because Seattle's been reeling. Like they started off 3-0, lost their last two. They just lost to the Giants of all teams. San Fran's obviously coming off that loss to Arizona. You know, Mason's looked good in replacement of McCaffrey, but there's just an element of that offense that's missing. You know what I mean? It just doesn't look the same. Their defense is getting gashed. It does not look like San Francisco football.
I want to say give me the Seahawks, but at the same time, it's like I struggle to choose against San Francisco because of the pedigree.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Like if you're looking at both teams in a vacuum, it almost looks like Seattle's probably the better team right now, even though they've lost 2 in a row. But it's hard to bet against San Francisco just due to pedigree, due to history. But I think I'm going with Seattle in this one.
Let me delete the 49ers pick I had up for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Seattle too in a gut feeling.
And the game is going to be located in
Seattle. It's in Seattle.
the 12th. But they're 3.5-point favorites on the road. I think Niners in a tight one.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be close. This game, it's a toss-up. It could go either way.
Real tight game. Oh, and also before we get anywhere else, I just would like to say that I correctly picked the Cardinals game, and I don't think I was. Hey, Seahawks won this.
Yeah,
past week.
you also got 3 right last week.
Yeah, fuck you. What's the next game, man?
So the next game, it's a London game. And so the away team is kind of the home team in this one, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Because we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are London's second team, ironically enough. And they're going to be playing Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. Is this the time Jacksonville finally turns this around?
No. I'm taking Chicago. I'm gonna take Chicago by at least a touchdown.
I'm going with Chicago as well.
Dude, this is a really tough one. I think this is definitely one of the, fight on. I think Caleb Williams can turn up a lot. And shit, hey, I wonder if they did a poll. Do you think they have a lot of Jacksonville fans? I mean, they play there literally I know we joke, but they literally.
They play there they play there every year.
Sometimes twice. This was a hard one going back and forth. I mean, Lawrence, he was lighting up Indianapolis. He almost threw for 400 yards. It's tough, man. Like it's tough. This one, give me sunshine. I got the Jags.
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Next game, we have an NFC South showdown between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the now Derek Carless New Orleans Saints. So give me the Bucks.
Same here. No
Yeah.
Derek Carr. Give me the Bucks.
Yeah, I got the Bucks. I don't trust him without Derek Carr, and I think the Bucks are gonna. There's gonna be an opportunity for them to big division game for sure.
We have a very interesting showdown in this next one, boys. Very interesting. The red hot, grossly red hot Washington Commanders are heading into Baltimore. So a Maryland showdown, basically, between the Commanders and the Ravens. I'm rolling with the Ravens.
That offense on the Commanders is just looking electric. I mean,
But their
electric.
defense is atrocious.
The defense. So the question is, who do you trust in a shootout?
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, no, I mean,
True.
Derrick fucking Henry. Just get him the ball.
right now, like Washington is red hot. They already lost that embarrassing game against the Raiders. They're not going to come into this one sleeping. I got Baltimore in a close one. I think I think they come back late, but I got the Ravens ultimately.
I'm gonna go out on the limb and run with Jaden Daniels.
Damn, he's taking the Commanders. Okay. So for the next game, we have the Arizona Cardinals heading into Lambeau Field to take on the Packers. This is an interesting game. The Cardinals have won 2 surprise games that nobody really expected them to win this year. And then they've gotten blown out a couple times, which a lot of people expect almost every week from the Cardinals.
Right.
I think I'm going to roll with the Packers on this one, though.
I'm taking the Packers. I really like what Josh Jacobs is doing out of the backfield for the Packers. Granted, hasn't scored a lot of touchdowns, but he's got 402 yards on 90 carries, so he's been consistent.
You know, Josh Jacobs has the most receptions ever without a receiving touchdown.
I believe that.
I don't know, man. I think that it's gonna be 64 degrees. It's gonna be 5-degree wind. Nothing crazy. It's gonna feel like 37. You're gonna have a dome team going there. I like Toddler Murray. I think he's electric.
Well, you might want to check if before you take the Cardinals, you may need to see if Call of Duty has any maps or downloadable content coming this weekend. Because if so, you're going to want to call the Packers.
Right.
And a close.
So for the next game, Justin,
I'll go last.
I'm sorry.
I'll go
I'm
last.
so sorry.
I'll go last.
We have the Houston Texans heading into Gillette for the first game of May time with Houston and New England, and obviously give me Houston.
I don't even think this shit's gonna be close. I don't know. I know, it's always our team. We go last, but we already know he's not picking the Patriots.
I'm not picking the Patriots. No, I'm taking Houston. I'm hopeful that Drake survives and he has a decent game. Do I expect them to win? No.
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 What you got, Ian? You got Houston as well?
Yeah, we all got Houston.
Houston. Next game, AFC South showdown. Nothing too stand outish about this game. I think it's going to be a boring one, to be honest. Probably the only time we'll see this, we flip it on the red zone. We got the Colts heading into Tennessee to play the Titans.
I'm taking the Colts and Joe Flacco.
I was going to say, haven't the Colts offenses looked better with Joe Flacco? Same thing last year happened in Cleveland when Joe Flacco took over. The offense looks better. I don't know what it is, and obviously Tennessee's just completely abysmal. I'm rolling with the Colts as well.
Who you got, Ian?
Mr. Blackwell.
I'm really not we'll see. I mean, Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken, they're coming off their bye. Am I correct?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I like the Colts, man, but I think Tennessee pulls it off this week. Give me a time.
So, for the last game of the 1 o'clock slate, We have Deshaun. I always need a massage. Watson heading into Philadelphia to play the Sheagles.
Philly is -9. God damn.
Philly by a lot.
Yeah, I'm begrudgingly going with the fucking Eagles.
I'm done. I hate myself for doing it, but I'm gonna believe in the Browns again. That's my big.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Ian, I hope you're right, but you're also an idiot.
Go ahead with it.
Put a
So
parlay
then-
down for that game and then call it good.
Next game, we have the Los Angeles Chargers heading into Denver to play the surprisingly 3-game win streak led Bo Nix Denver Broncos. I'm going to go with the Broncos. I haven't said that in like a year and a half.
I'm going to take the Chargers.
Chargers coming off of a bye week. Denver, it's going to be in. I think it's going to be in Denver, right?
It's in Denver.
Chargers are a 3-point favorite.
I think the Chargers are going to finish better, but I got the Broncos this weekend.
Next game, we have the either Justin Fields or Russell Wilson led Pittsburgh Steelers heading into Vegas to play Ian's Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Pittsburgh gets a bounce back game.
Pittsburgh's only -3. It's going to be a fucking home. Well, I won't say a home game. The Raiders, it's the Raiders. They're always going to get a home crowd, but Pittsburgh's only -3. I know their offense is shit, but has Vegas not been watching the team that's in their own city play offense? I got Pittsburgh by a good amount this weekend.
Yeah, this game's going to be like 16-13. Like, it's going to be very low scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Next game, we have Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons heading in to play Andy Dalton and the Carolina Panthers. And pretty simple on this one. Give me the Falcons.
Yep, same here.
Hold on.
You cooking a hot pocket, Mr. Blackwell?
Hot pocket. Give me the Falcons.
Give me the Falcons. Next game, I think this is the marquee game for the 4:00 slates here. We have the Detroit Lions heading into Jerry's World to play the Cowboys. And I'm going last in this one, obviously.
Lions coming off a bye week. I'm going to take the Lions in a close one.
They're -3.5 in Dallas. I think the Lions win by. I don't think a blowout, but I think they win by like 10.
I'm also going to take the Lions in this one, guys. As you know, I'm not a biased fan when it comes to the Cowboys. I'm honest when I think they're going to lose. Dallas is just too injury ridden right now. Micah is still kind of going to be iffy for the game. More than likely, DeMarcus Lawrence is still going to be out. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are probably going to have a field day. Those are the two best backs they've faced since Derrick Henry, of course. I've got Detroit pretty comfortably. I think Dallas will keep it close for the first half. But I think Detroit will just pull away. I think that run game is going to be too much for him. So for the Sunday night game, this is like the first Sunday night of the year game where I'm kind of like, I'll check in on it. I don't know if I'm going to watch the whole thing. Depends on how the Lions-Cowboys game goes, if I'm in a big football mood or not. We got the Cincinnati Bengals heading into MetLife to play the Giants. Now, on paper, this game should be an absolute blowout for the Bengals win. Like, on paper, the Bengals should win this game by 24 points at minimum. But the way they've been looking, I'm going to roll with the Bengals. But if they do not pull this one off, their season's over. That's why I think they will win, because they know their season's on the line.
I was going to say the same thing. If I'm going to take Cincinnati, but if it's going to be close and if Cincinnati doesn't win, they need to mail in the rest of the season.
I think Giants win the first half. I think Cincinnati ends up winning the game. I think second half they break out, but I think, it's the Giants. I think they're going to win, but I think that when we wake up on Monday morning, we're going to be like, damn, they won, but they still aren't really that good. But I think they win.
And by no means, when we're talking about this game, are we indicating this is a Joe Burrow issue. Like, Joe Burrow threw 400 yards and 5 touchdowns this past Sunday. Like, this is a entirely defensive issue for the Bengals right now. So for Monday night, guys, we got an AFC East. Should be like oh my God, this is a marquee matchup. This is going to be one of the best games of the year. But both teams have been disappointing the past few weeks. We got the Bills, who are also heading into MetLife, so they have 2 back-to-back primetime games, but they're playing the Jets,
who just lost their coach.
That might rile them up, though, too. Oh, man, both teams are coming off 2 straight losses. Obviously, Buffalo is still in control of the division.
Someone check on Josh Allen's head.
But Josh Allen owns the Jets, though, too. I think he's only lost to them once.
But he hasn't had to play Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I know. Oh, my God. This is a tough game.
I got the Jets.
I'm going to roll with them one more time, too, Ian. Give me the Jets.
I'm going to take the Bills.
If the Jets lose this game, it's time to hit the panic button on the season, wouldn't you say?
2-4. Well, the thing is about that division, I mean, shit, it's what? Buffalo at the top and then New York. Like, Buffalo's only going to be 2 games up. I mean, granted, it's going to put them in a hole, but I don't think – definitely hit the panic button, but season's not over by any means.
Well, that was a great pick segment, boys. And we started the show a little late, so we're running a little bit late, guys. What do you say we just move on to the question?
Sounds good.
I got it.
You said you got it, Ian?
Yes, sir. I've been looking forward to this all week. Not as much as I look forward to hearing you guys' voices and our interactions with our Facebook subscribers. So please like and subscribe if you have not already, and we will make sure to get back to you with all new related content. So my question for this week and this show, really quickly, is sponsored by the motherfucking cat. I ain't got no more. So, what is the thing that you absolutely hate the most that comes from a sports fan? I'll start. You couldn't do any better yourself. He's in the NBA, you're not. I can't fucking stand that shit. And Sean made a really good point where he's like, we don't tell, if an actor makes a shitty movie, you don't say, oh, well, could you do any better? I can't stand that fucking argument. I think it's a weak argument. I think that people that make it, because we watch sports a good amount, right, guys? Like, we can see the talent. We understand that they're closer to LeBron than we are to them. But when we're saying they suck or they're trash or Aiden O'Connell sucks, it's compared to his peers.
When we say that, we're comparing them to the peers. We're not saying that in a general standpoint. Like, if the worst quarterback in the NFL was out there just... he's not the worst by any means, but like if they were just out there in a field throwing footballs, we would be amazed with what they can do. But when we're criticizing them in that nature, we're not saying they actually suck at the sport. We're saying they're bad in comparison to their field, which is completely fair. That's a good argument to hate, Ian. I like that answer a lot. Mine would probably be... I would say a fan that's a tough one, but I hate the most. There's a lot of things that really irk me about sports fans and sports columnists just with their opinions. I need a minute to think on it. You can go, Justin.
One thing I can't stand is the wishy-washiness of local sports radio pundits, because on one show they'll be completely pessimistic about everything under the sun, and then they'll be on another show like 2 hours later and it's all sunshine, daisies, rainbows. Just be honest with yourself.
That's a fair one too.
They kill some of these guys' careers, like these pundits. Like there's, Boston, those talk radio shows. Like you have tens of thousands of people listening to that. And you're just slamming Xander Bogaerts. Don't play for it. You know what I'm saying, though?
I would say the thing that I hate the most is people who judge a player's success solely based on their stats. Like when you're with their, those sports fans who will be like, "Oh, how is he good?" There was an argument. I got a perfect example. There were people who were getting upset that Tony Allen was getting his jersey hung in Memphis because he only averaged 9 points a game. Those people do not understand the defensive paralysis that Tony Allen gave to the Memphis Grizzlies for season after season. He was one of the best on ball and one of the best guard defenders in the league for 10 years. He was not there to score. And so they considered him a bum because he only averaged 9 points, and they were throwing fits that he was going to get his jersey hung in the rafters in Memphis. Those are the type of sports fans that I hate, who don't really understand what they're watching. Yeah, he absolutely does. He was not in the game to score.
Yeah.
Team all defense. First team
Defense wins championships, but Memphis didn't win one.
No, they didn't. But, I mean, that's still a frustrating take from sports fans is when they solely focus on the stats.
Agreed.
That's a good question, Ian. Well, boys, it's that time again. It was another great show. All great things come to an end, as does this show. And Justin, what do they need if they're going to Canada?
Don't forget to bring that towel.
Fuck you, Mitchell.
And avoid Florida like the plague man. It's wet out there.
Also, just really quickly here, everyone in the Florida, Key West, Tampa area, Orlando, Sarasota, we hope you're safe.
Absolutely.
Prayers for Florida and everyone, affected by all the other recent disasters as well. But
speaking of that, I'm watching the Bruins-Panthers game right now.
Disaster.
This stadium is packed.
You said packed?
Throwing that out there.
4-1 at the end of the first period.
Yeah.
Damn.
They're in Florida, is what I'm saying. Like, they're playing this game in Florida right now. This stadium is packed to the brim.
They're in Miami. They're fine.
Oh, it's I think you're right. Well, I think it's technically Sunrise, but I think you're right though. I think that's Miami, if anything. I think
Still weird.
I don't know what the fuck that is, but like Sean said, we still don't know how to close the show, guys. Have a good one. And
have a good one, guys.
Go ahead, Sally.
But I want that towel.